For many women, marriage represents companionship, partnership, dreams, and a shared future. But sometimes life takes an unexpected turn. A woman who once shared her life with a partner suddenly finds herself navigating grief, loneliness, responsibility, uncertainty, and a future she never planned for. Widowhood is one of life's most difficult transitions. Yet beyond the pain, the loss, many women discover something remarkable: strength they never knew they possess, resilience they never imagined, and a renewed sense of purpose. As the world marks Widows Day 2026, today's conversation is not only about loss, it is about healing, it is about hope, it is about rediscovering life after one of life's greatest challenges. So today we are asking, how do women move from grief to growth? How do they find purpose after loss? And what lessons can every woman learn from the widowhood journey? Welcome to Women's World on Global Television, where we have bold, honest, and solution-driven conversations about the realities shaping women, families, leadership, and society today. I am Anieti Patrick, and of course I'm being joined today by my wonderful co-host Priscilla Obasi. Hello, Priscilla.
Hi, Anieti. Good to have you. Good to be here. Unfortunately, the trial is not complete today.
Yeah, it's not complete today, but we have to do what we have to do. Yeah. And of course, thank you so much for joining us today. Well, widowhood is one of those life experiences that many people don't fully understand until they encounter it personally. For some women, it comes with emotional pain. For others, it comes with social stigma, economic challenges, and the burden of having to suddenly navigate life alone. Yet many widows demonstrate extraordinary resilience and courage, of course.
Absolutely. And today's conversation is not only for widows, it's for that married woman, the single woman, young woman preparing for future, and even families who want to better support widows around them. Because widowhood teaches us important lessons about strength, faith, resilience, purpose, and human capacity.
Well, this is a whole lot to talk about that, and helps us navigate all that parts of life, because like Priscilla just said, widowhood teaches us important lessons about strength, faith, resilience, purpose, and the human capacity to rebuild after life's most difficult moments. Stay with us, because after this break, we'll be joined by an exceptional woman whose personal journey and life's work continue to inspire women around the world. Stay with us after this break.
Too long, women were told to stay quiet, to endure in silence, to face challenges alone. But silence never defined us.
Women are actually one of the best peace builders you can come across, because they will build peace in the home front, they will build with their children, they will build in the community, they will build at their meetings and in their churches.
Across Nigeria and beyond, women are breaking barriers, from entrepreneurs building thriving businesses to mothers transforming communities to everyday women.
Women's World celebrates all sides of womanhood. We share untold stories of women from pain to victory.
This is more than a show, it is a platform for women to be seen, heard, and to be empowered.
Every story matters. Every voice counts, because women are empowered to change families, communities, and the nation.
Join us as we showcase women's untold stories.
From pain to victory.
This is Women's World on Global Television.
Your story, your health, your power.
It's good to have you join us back on the program Women's World. Of course, like we told you, we'll be joined by guests, an exceptional woman. And joining us today is Pastor Julie Onovena. She's the Executive Director of La Vogue, British International School, Abuja, a senior pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, also the President of Living Women Foundation International, as well as President of Family Matters for singles and married people, a successful entrepreneur, gospel artist with over 31 songs across digital platforms, and an accomplished author of 26 books, including the bestseller Money is Everywhere. Most importantly, she's a woman whose personal journey through loss, healing, leadership, and purpose continues to inspire countless women. Join me as I welcome Pastor Julie Onovena. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So much accomplishments and strength, if you may ask. If one would look at all of this, and it's beautiful to have you join us on the program today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mom, let's just get straight to it. Now, I don't know how comfortable you are sharing your story, your widowhood story. You're a widow, sadly, and we're here to inspire people. Of course, receive all the encouragement too. And like we said in our introduction, this is also for families who have a widow close to them, so that they can better know how to support, the set of people. So let's start by hearing your journey to this point.
Thank you very much. My husband passed on December last year. We were together for 41 good years. He was my only friend. It was not easy, although he was sick for some time, and I made sure I took very good care of him. And on the last day, his 69th birthday was 12th of December 2025. I just woke up that morning and the Holy Spirit said I should celebrate him. And prior to that time, we had just been discharged from the hospital on Thursday. Yes, on Thursday. And when I woke up the following morning, the Holy Spirit said, celebrate this man. So I quickly ran to the markets, got things, and prepared for the birthday. By the time we got to where I had prepared, it was like, you mean you still have all the energy to do all this after all the stress we've gone through? And he was so happy. He was so happy. He cut his cake. He requested I should give him a pinch of it. I gave him. He said, no, it's my birthday. Let me celebrate myself. He drank the wine, and after the whole thing, he prayed and blessed me. 8 hours after, he passed on.
Wow.
It was very painful because we were very close. Very, very close. And I thought his family were there for me because before, while he was alive, there was no issue. But immediately he passed on, everything changed.
Wow.
They all became enemies overnight.
Wow.
And he warned everybody before he passed on. I'm sure he knew he was going. And he warned everybody. He said, this is my God-given wife from heaven.
Okay.
Don't trouble her.
Okay.
Love her by force. That was the language he used. And he passed on. And that word has kept me going because deep inside me, I took very good care of him. And he passed on rejoicing. And I'm happy that he passed on, and he went with joy in his heart that he was going and he's leaving us with peace.
Okay.
And I want to say that that peace has remained with us despite all odds. There were lots of challenges from extended family members, and they are all, for me, they are nothing. Because already I know who I am as a woman.
Okay.
While we were married, I knew that I have a vision for my life. So while the marriage lasted, I was building myself.
Okay.
And so when he passed on, nothing changed so much. The only thing is that I can't feel him
as a person.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so I like the way you put this out. It shows you were able to manage your emotions, because I was waiting for you to talk about the emotional part of it, how you were able to navigate through the extended family. One thing I've heard you say is you had your peace for the fact that he had peace and he left peace with you.
Yeah.
Because some points for other women who've gone through the similar phase, they go through that stage with a whole lot of trauma.
Yes, I had a lot of emotional trauma, especially from the family. Before he passed on, he said, "Don't take me home, bury me in Abuja." And he left his will. But the family said, "Nonsense, they are not after that. I must bring the corpse home."
Okay.
I pleaded several times. They said, "No, the corpse must come back home." And I tried to tell them that, look, there are lots of insecurity everywhere. I can't enter transport. I have to go by air. They said it's none of their business. I must come down home with my son. And we went 4 good times by air.
Wow.
You can imagine the cost of flying 4 times with your family. That was how bad it was. Well, when we got there, I was expecting that they will rally around me, since there was no problem before he passed on. No, they didn't even allow me enter the family home. Yeah. Nobody asked after me for the period I was over there. Nobody called me. Nobody felt my pains. As if I was in a strange land. But thank God for God. God raised men. They thought I would come and start begging for funds. God just surprised everybody.
Okay.
I gave my husband the best burial.
Okay.
And I'm proud to do that. Very proud to do that. The extended family only gave 300,000 naira. They gave to my son. And we spent millions. But thank God, God made provisions. God raised friends. People were just supporting. You can imagine people supporting me with as much as 50 million naira to bury my husband.
Interesting.
Okay, so I love to this is taking it from a different tone, because we've had, Professor, before you come in, we've had guests come on the program talk about where culture and traditions seem to differ. This is Africa, but this is Nigeria first. And I like the way you're putting this, because we're talking to a multi-dimensional people even across the globe. So I want people to also understand where we're coming from. It's one thing to lose someone who is a partner, who's doing the journey of life with you. And just like I said, it's boils down in different ways and how people accept. I want to ask first, were you from same place?
No, I'm from Edo State.
Okay.
While he is Delta.
Okay. That's south, so it's kind of similar.
It's not similar because
and just the culture is different. I'm just saying south regional base is actually very different. So of course the culture is quite different and ways of doing things. So I like the fact, but one of the things you said that got to me is there was no problem, but at the time of the burial, I think that's one part where widows tend to struggle through that part or that journey. From that point. Because you said families were okay, peacefully, but the moment he passed on, you lost a companion, you lost a friend, you lost a confidence, you lost a partner who is someone you know, and then in the part of the family where you have had someone to hold you close and walk you through became a challenge. And at that point you were struggling through the hardest part of your life where you're trying to adjust to your loss first and to that friendship or the family you thought you once had as a person. So grief got to you differently. So walk us through that part where culture played a major role as to the comfort of loved ones at your point of grief.
Let me just add to it. Let's even speak to other Nigerians. So that there are people that get married and do not understand the cultures
of
where they're going
to.
So you think you got married to a person in the city and you guys do the Abuja love until something happens. And then you start to discover, oh, these people do this here. There's this culture. And culture becomes real, the reality of life. So let's walk us through that path.
It became real, like you just said. As if my husband knew his people very well. That was why he said, don't take me home.
Okay.
Bury me here. But they insisted. Over there, a lot of issues. And go and bring the list of your properties. We have to document the properties. This is what we'll take. The collected items for my grandchild to do burial. My grandchild was billed.
Are you
a
serious?
child of 4 months old was billed.
Are you serious?
Yes, and we had to provide everything. A lot of issues came up, but thank God for the Church of God that stood for me. The Church of God stood for me and told them that my husband was a pastor while he was alive, and so a lot of things I was not going to be allowed to participate in.
Okay.
Which I didn't do.
Okay.
But that aspect of feeling my emotion was not there. Nobody felt my emotions.
Okay.
Nobody felt I was part of them.
Okay.
Nobody looked for me. Nobody searched for me. Nobody called me. Even while we were in the church, while I was crying, nobody came to me to say, Julie, sorry. Nobody. It was as if they were blinded to my presence. It was after the burial was over, I had to call one of them that came all the way from America and say, oh, Uncle, what happened? He said, Julie, do you know I just realized what happened? And the Holy Spirit took me to Isaiah chapter 6 verse 10, that I blinded their eyes so that they can't see. I deafened their ears so that they can't hear. And I made their hearts darkened so that they will not think of you. Because if they had seen me, they wouldn't have allowed me to do my husband's burial. Okay, look at this scenario.
Okay.
The burial was 10 a.m. on Friday.
Okay.
By Thursday, 6 p.m., we had done decoration of the area they gave me to
lay him to rest
for reception. About 10 minutes to 6, they called me that his brother came from Lagos and said we are not going to be allowed to use that place, and they scattered all the decorations, worth millions of naira.
Wow.
And I should go and look for a place at that night. So, but thank God for the Church of God. They stood for me, my friends. They stood. They searched for a place to use, and
you started for me. It's
from the scratch. Yes.
So where were you supposed to get the money to do all the funds?
Nobody cared. Nobody cared, and that's the area I'm going to be speaking to women about.
Okay.
See, when God created us, He created the woman and the man to fulfill purpose. But unfortunately, immediately a woman gets married, she loses her focus, and all her concentration is on the man.
Okay.
The man is the provider, is the God, is this, is that. And by the time the man is gone, she suddenly realized that
my life was paused.
Yes.
My life was paused, and
Yes.
I didn't have any.
I didn't have anything to hold on.
It was just being a wife, a mother, and it helped me.
It helped me. That's
just it.
But God opened my eyes from the beginning of the marriage. That Julie, come. I created you to fulfill purpose. Marriage is just one of the purpose of life. It's not the major reason for God creating you. So with that, I tied my loins And I told myself I must be a success story.
Okay.
And today, to the glory of God, I'm a successful entrepreneur.
Okay, so I like that part of it, because I like the fact that you said you're speaking to women today to understand the dimension in which they need to build their life and capacity. Because you don't just get, a lot of young people today, let's stick to that, see marriage as an achievement. And that's where they're missing it. So I like the fact that the World Widows Day is opening eyes of women to understand identity,
life beyond marriage,
life beyond marriage. And then, so because obviously from what we see, some people tend to withdraw, others become strongly or stronger publicly while they are hurting in this phase of their life. Because for those who found their purpose, like you did, will be able to go through the emotional parts, by the strength and grace of God, like you mentioned. But others privately hurt, no source of livelihood, the life becomes,
Okay, sorry to cut you in. Imagine since my husband passed on, none of the family members have called. Even when he was sick, for almost 5 years, nobody called. Nobody came to check on him. And since he passed on, nobody has sent 10,000 naira or called to say, how are the children faring? And how do you want to pay bills? What about your rent?
So let's speak to men now.
Okay.
Right, because a lot of men do not know the reality of a woman's life beyond them. There are men that would tell their wives, stay in the house, don't work, I would cater to you. As a matter of fact, pause everything that, because you need to be present in this family and all of that. Let's speak to such men to know that there is such a time, or life can happen.
Yes,
life can happen to anyone.
Since after my husband passed on, I know about 12 people that passed on from December till date.
Okay.
So death will not tell you I'm coming. So that you have to put your house in order so that if anything happens, life continues. There is this perception, especially in African context, that everything that is owned in the family belongs to the man. They believe that the woman is just there to come and eat where she did not sow. And with that in their mind, immediately the man passes on. They want to come and grab. And that was what happened in my case. They sent message that we should send the inventory of the properties.
Wow.
And thank God, my son listed the properties. He was a civil servant. That's a virtuous woman. I made sure I supported him to be a successful man, which was hidden to the family. So after he passed on, maybe they thought he made old. And I said, okay, my door is wide open. You come and collect all the properties. So that is why every woman must be strong, not just for your partner, but for yourself. Because of times like this. Because it will surely happen. And that's why you see women at the demise of their husbands, they share their children to become house helps, because the woman doesn't have the capacity to push. Women, it's high time you start doing something. I remembered after I got married, I didn't have a job. Every little thing, quarrel, give me money, tell you I'm a civil servant. I had to talk to myself. The government job was not coming, and I started going to the market to sell tomatoes, pepper, and all those things. I didn't care about what anybody will say. And for selling pepper, tomatoes, and all those things, I became a school owner. You can't mention schools in Abuja or Nigeria that you will not mention Laveau British International Schools. That's the power of a woman. And I'm not just a school owner, I'm a gospel artist. Going through these pains is not easy, because I am a worshiper. It made it very easy for me to swallow my pains. It's not easy, it's difficult, but because I am busy. I'm 24/7.
Your mind is busy.
Yes, my mind is busy. I don't have time for negativity, no.
Okay. So I like the fact that you just pointed out something which Priscilla was actually trying to hit on. Women need to look inwards. That's one thing. That's my take home. And, you know, and then you don't need to sit down and wait for expectations. I'm going to let me tell you from my point of view. Yours is, like I mentioned before we came on set. My dad passed on is going to be 3 years this year in August. Nobody has called one day to say, how are you preferring?
Yeah, it's like that.
So it's normal. It has become a normal thing that
in Africa.
It could be different in some scenarios. People could be there for others. But like you said, live your life beyond just seeing it as an achievement. It's a beautiful thing, because in many societies, widows often face expectations, pressure that widowers rarely encounter. The men don't encounter it, but the women tend to face it, because first thing first, you've dealt with the trauma of marriage that has to do with marriage has ups and downs. Then when the man now passes on, you have to struggle. The struggle continues for a woman. So that part, what should women or the widows or the men do to change that narrative, especially with families and the cultures? Because that's where I have a concern with. For my mom's case, that culture thing did not play out because we're all grown up. But she was grown up too. I know. It's your own culture. No, I'm getting somewhere. I know your children are grown up, but I know where we had to stand the ground to say my mom was not. They didn't even talk to my mom about anything. The issue about burying, I think, has to do with cultures and what the African culture always want the person to come back home. But some parents, some partners also choose where they want.
I asked this question. They have brothers in America, and I asked the question: if that person, God forbid, if it happens to him,
well, how would they do it?
Will they fly the body down?
So what did they answer you?
You can imagine the answer. But for this, he must come home.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, I discovered that it's just a way to extort money. I also realized that the custodians of this culture are mainly youths who are jobless. That's the truth.
Interesting.
Many of them are not doing anything, and all they do
that's what we see, exploitation coming from
most times they look at your pockets and look at
the size you up.
They size you up.
The sizing up that becomes a problem.
Yes.
But then you mentioned something. You said your husband gave a standing order, and his people went against that order. There's always this thing about obeying the last wish of a person. But I think in African context, we don't even
all of those. We don't obey rules and regulations, and that's why Nigeria is where we are today.
So what can this, I feel like men are the custodian of culture to a very large extent. I know that there are women, in the eastern part of the country, there are Umadas, and I know every other tribe has their own Umada, but those ones are the ones, that have their own say. Everybody has their say in culture, but like you pointed, there are situations where a person stands their ground and say no. And maybe sometimes it comes from the children, because as a mother at that point you are vulnerable. You are vulnerable because you're going through a whole lot. Exactly. I remember when my husband lost his father. So the things they said, then I was heavily pregnant. I was in my 8 months of pregnancy. They were telling me, you see, I come to the village. I told them I couldn't. I'm sorry, politely. I said, I cannot. The siblings had to, I told them, please, I can't. At some point they said, I said, okay, what if I come to the village and I get to them and say, you've done that now. I said, well, I'm waiting. So these are the challenges we still have to deal with. There are situations where siblings would not come in and say, no, you will not treat our mother this way. No, but in there are situations also that the siblings are like, okay, let's just let peace be. Let things just be. Let's just
in a situation where they are not ready for peace, then what do you do?
So I think that's the part where I think because during this period it's your most difficult moment, and then just like you said, your faith played out a major role for you and sustained you. For those who don't look at the faith part of it, who just live life normal, because we have across religion, we have different practice, different faiths. There's often a misconception about the strong woman that she doesn't need to struggle emotionally. You've displayed strength and your faith. Were there moments when you questioned yourself, your future, or even your ability to move forward, because you're human first? Your humanity will play out in any case or whatever, because this is someone who's been there with for 41 years.
Yes, a lot of time, especially when I close from work and I have to retire to bed, I look this way, it's not there, look that way, it's not there. I need to maybe touch, we used to touch ourselves, all those touching, and we fight a lot, nobody to fight with again, Those are the toughest moments, because we're very, very close, very close. Then, since we got married, I never had to pay essential bills like NEPA, water, all those things. It dawned on me that for the first time in my 41 years, I have to start paying for essentials, especially NEPA. The first month, they said there was no lights. I bought 50,000. After 1 week, it got finished. That month, I spent almost 190,000 naira. Wow. So that was when it dawned on me that this man really tried, because before then I was like, what are you doing with money now? Every time you do So that's just it. I feel I miss his presence.
Of course.
And he actually supported me in all my dreams. Anywhere I went, he went with me. Awesome. He lost his ego because of me. Wow. Yes, he didn't. He's not a man that that we see. He saw strength in me, and he supported the strength. That's why I can say yes.
You're also the president of which of this single married
president of Living Proof Women Foundation International. It's a foundation that supports widows and their children. We give scholarship. I didn't even know that one day become a widow.
This is some vision, because you saw a vision and you went with it, but you didn't envisage it to come so soon.
So soon, yes.
That's language. But let's look at in the early stage of your grief. And a lot of women are also at this stage of their life, and they are completely lost and overwhelmed. But you've shown strength, even though you're still a face. It's still still dawning on you. You're still going through the healing process of it. Looking back, and what do you think people misunderstood about your point of widowhood with you? Because it was a peaceful atmosphere, and all of a sudden, was it okay? I know it was a peaceful atmosphere with the family, and all of a sudden, life has happened. So looking back at the phase of the burial process, the family bond you used to have, and where you are today, looking back, what do you think they misunderstood that made them not recognize the period of your pain? Well, let me just hear from her, because
for me, because of the attitude they put up after the burial, I picked the sand of that land, and I told myself, I have nothing doing there again, because they never showed mercy on me, and because of the way they treated me, it reminded me of the pains I went through when I just got married. Because when they didn't want their brother to marry me, they had somebody for their brother.
I see.
Yes, but along the line, they didn't show me real love. But my husband was there, always there 24/7. And in the course of the marriage, I tried to forget whatever actions they put up. But this last encounter reminded me of their wickedness. And that was why I picked the sand of the land. But God is merciful.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Showing mercy. I had to just look back and say, okay, I'm forgiving you. Have to run God.
That's you all the while. You know, I was going to ask at what point, because what she's saying now makes a lot of sense. The whole thing did not start today. It points back to when she started, because of course, and then everything is playing out now. It's coming back again. So there's a lot of lessons to learn from that experience. Number one, I would say, can we now say to people, before you get married, because of situations like this, make sure you are accepted. Do you understand? Because again, they say life has no manual, love has no manual, marriage has no manual. The most important thing is that your husband loved you, you loved him. Whatever played out in between with extended families does not count. What counts is your life is purposeful now, and you loved him even to his last days on earth. But what can couples, I mean intending couples, singles, those that are about to make the marriage decision, learn from this experience?
Well, for those just going into marriage, make sure you are going into that marriage because of love. If it's because of material things, it will not last. Love brought us together, and that was why we were able to navigate through the 41 years. Okay. Then another thing I will admonish the men is that whatever role your wife is playing in your life, don't hide it from your family. Make it open. Whatever contribution your wife, whatever support your wife is giving you, don't just block your family members from it. Because from what I gathered, the family believed that the whole journey was their brother's. Yes, all the earth thought it was their brother, and they pretended not to know that the woman too also contributed. So men should be opened to their wives
and their families.
Yes, and their families.
Okay. Well, it's a loaded conversation.
A lot of things to take home from here, Priscilla.
Okay, so one thing stands out, and it is grief is real, right? Well, it doesn't have to define the rest of a person's life, just as she has, been able to navigate.
Absolutely, Priscilla. We've heard that healing is a journey, and while loss changes a person, it doesn't have to destroy their future, of course.
When we return, we will explore how widows can rebuild, rediscover purpose, create impact, and find joy again after loss. Please stay with us.
For too long, women were told to stay quiet, to endure in silence, to face challenges alone. But silence never defined us.
Women are actually one of the best peace builders you can come across, because they will build peace in the home front, they will build with their children, they will build in the community, they will build at their meetings and in their churches.
Across Nigeria and beyond, women are breaking barriers, from entrepreneurs building thriving businesses to mothers transforming communities to everyday women.
Women's World celebrates all sides of womanhood. We share untold stories of women from pain to victory.
This is more than a show. It is a platform for women to be seen, heard, and to be empowered.
Every story matters. Every voice counts, because women are empowered to change families, communities, and the nation.
Join us as we showcase women's untold stories.
From pain to victory.
This is Women's World on Global Television.
Your story, your health, your power.
It's good to have you join us back. It's still Women's World, and of course we've been discussing widowhood, the challenges, the loss, the rebuilding phase, all of that challenges where culture plays a very major role in the life of couples, and where we need to have a better understanding. But this is part 2, or the second segment of the discussion, where we look at rebuilding life, rediscovering purpose, of course. And that's earlier we had a deeply moving accounts of loss, grief, healing, and resilience. One thing has become very clear: widowhood may change a woman's life, but it does not have to end her dreams, her purpose, or her impact. Today, our guest stands as a testament to that reality. She's a leader, pastor, entrepreneur, author, mentor, and advocate who's transformed one of life's most painful experiences into a platform for purpose and services. Well, still with us is Pastor Julie Onovona, who's been speaking to us on our experience. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's been a wonderful conversation, Priscilla.
Absolutely. Many people associate widowhood only with grief, but after the tears, after the condolences, after the visitors leave, life continues. Bills start to be paid, just as you said. Children still need guidance. Dreams still need to be pursued and all of that. And that is where the real journey begins. I have a cousin that lost his, that died.
Okay.
I grew up, I stayed with him after school. We're very close. I was close with the wife. And then he passed. He was sick for a while, quite young, 40, that at 40 something, I guess. So he was sick for a while and then he passed. And he had 3 children. They were quite tender. The first was, I think, around 10, 11 when he died. The last was around 4, 5 years. So, he left very young children. And for that kind of woman, now, her kind of experiences, different. So what happened is, after he passed, the wife immediately fell sick. And up to this time, she's still trying to navigate her health. The last time I saw her, I felt like crying because she had shrunk. She was dealing with kidney problems, going for dialysis.
And then there are children to care for.
Children to care for. And I'm looking at them, and I remember the day they got married. I was there for their wedding. Do you understand? So our life just turned instantly for her.
That's where I had to talk to myself, because after the burial, when we came back, I realized that friends were not coming as often as they were coming. Calls were no longer coming. I'll just be alone.
Of course, the quiet, the silence.
Yes, I'll be alone. After some time, some friends started calling because they know that I'm not the type
that is quiet,
that stays indoors. They kept calling me, Julie, what's the problem? You need to get out of this. So I started talking to myself. The first thing I did was to go for checkup. And when I went for checkup, the doctor told me that, no, madam, I know you are not like this. You have to go back to your self. Yes. The way you were, what you were doing, you have to go back. So that was when it dawned on me that, yes, a lot of people still need me. A lot of people that listen to my songs, my messages, just seeing me is renewal of hope. So I spoke to my mind and I told myself, I don't have to become miserable because my husband passed on. And when you look at it, when it happens to men, the second day they continue with their life.
After 1 year, they are married.
No, 3 months they are married. I know somebody who passed on. The following week, the girlfriend came home.
Interesting.
3 months after they got married. So I spoke to myself and I said, well, I have to come back to life and fulfill purpose.
But society has a way of telling the woman you have to sit indoors for 6 months. The moment you start going out, people are already looking. It's not be this one, then the husband.
I told myself, I've started coming out. Since I've started coming out, anybody that says anything negative, I will pray that your husband will die so that she can stay home for 6 years.
Okay, so I like yes. Okay, so I like this part because we've seen cultures. I remember a guest we had one time I talked about, I think it was in Kogi or so, where she was talking about the experience of when same scenario saying when a woman passes on, the man moves on with his life. And I like what you just said. You said you were deliberate, you had to speak to yourself.
I spoke to myself.
And culture plays more for women in terms of holding you back. I'm glad that you've served your time, so they just started coming out after.
Well, my people had to rise up for me.
Okay.
They went to my in-laws and told them that our daughter is not the type that sits at home. She has to work. She has to take care of her children, and she has to live. So they went to visit my in-laws and told them that. So with that, we had an agreement that.
Okay, so I like the fact that it gave you room to rebuild. So let's talk to other women. You had found your purpose. You had found a way of building yourself. For some woman who's watching today, who's telling herself, my life is over, where do I start from? What word of advice do you have for her in terms of rebuilding and rediscovering purpose? Because you said, in the midst of the silence, you had to speak to yourself. So let the house down.
To women that are still out there that feel life is over for you, it is not over until it is over. Like I said, I spoke to myself because I discovered that life was going out of me. So I decided intentionally to speak to myself, not minding what anybody will say. That's their business. It's all about me. It's all about my life. So it's all about you. And one thing you need to realize is this. If you are not there, nobody will take care of your children the way you would have taken care of them.
Exactly.
So if you love your children, you love yourself, it is high time you come out of that morning. Yesterday I went somewhere. I did my video recording of my new song coming out very soon. And while I was there, I saw a lady, she wore black all through, and I had to call her. I said, you a widow? He said, yes. How long have you been a widow? He said, about 11 months now. I said, okay, so where are you going? I said she was going to the church to pray. That was around 11.
In the night?
In the morning.
Okay.
I said, you're not working? He said, no, I'm not doing anything. So I sat her down. I said, listen, I'm not saying you should not go to church, but there is time for everything. A lot of widows ignore this part of what you're just saying now. They don't know the value of time. The time you are supposed to do something that will give you money to take care of your family, you are busy going from one church to another, looking for prophets to tell you that this will happen and this will not happen. So I was able to convince her yesterday, and she said she doesn't have money to start any business. I said, okay, what business do you want to do? She was talking of business that she would need about 5 million naira.
Interesting.
So I told her a little of my story. I said, this man you are saying, I've sold your pepper and tomatoes in this Abuja. But now I'm not selling pepper and tomatoes again. And one thing we need to realize is that there is money in foodstuff.
There is actually.
Yes. So I gave her some counsel, and I want to believe that she's going to do something.
Okay, so Priscilla just so this is actually very important.
Okay, so let's talk about financial literacy, which a lot of young girls do not grow up with. It doesn't start from when you lose a spouse. It starts from the foundation. Nigerian girls, or the girl child in this part of the world, has been told, don't worry, when you finish, you get married with your own husband. They've been programmed that way. And God's so kind, or fortunately or unfortunately, you marry a man and that says, oh, don't worry, I got you. Do you understand? It becomes a difficult terrain, a strange land, as we described it, when there's nobody there. You don't know how to do business. You don't have the entrepreneurial mindset. You don't even know where to start looking for your CV from if you're someone that went to school. If you're fortunate to not have gone to school, your life pauses. And then you talk about periods where people start giving out their children for helps and all of that. So how is financial literacy, how important is financial literacy to the girl child?
Very, very important. Not even only to a girl child, even to the boy child. You know, I watched a video this morning. The man said most of the rich men children are not entrepreneurs because they have not been taught how to use their hands to do chores at home.
Okay.
They make use of house helps. It's house help that we wake up in the morning, that we clean up, that we measure rice, know the quantity of pepper and tomato to put, and with that, the house help is already
grooming
herself for a better future. While the rich man's child is just carry and push here and there. And I learned a lesson from it. So the man was saying that rich men should put their children to schools, not just going to school of academics, this skill
acquisition
empowerment program, so that they can pass on their wealth to them. And that's the lesson I learned from it. So for a girl child literacy is very, very important. Like when I was growing up, I grew up with my sister, and when I closed from school, I had to go to market to help her to sell. With that, I started developing my entrepreneurship skills. Okay. So by the time I finished school, I was already doing business. So when I got married, job was not coming. It was very easy for me to start selling tomatoes, pepper, yams, oranges, and all those things. And gradually, I gather the crumbs from those things I was selling. I started.
You said there's money.
Yes, money is everywhere.
Okay, so I like the fact that you picked up purpose quite early and all that, but I want to also look at your service to people. How did your service to people contribute to your healing process that made it seamless and make it look like an easy way to navigate? Let's talk about it in 1 minute.
Yes. I said earlier on that after my husband passed, people were just donating, contributing money for me. I now realized that I had impacted them in one way or the other, maybe through my programs, through my books, and many of them will come and then you came to our church, you talk on this, I attended your program, so things like that. So I've been able to invest in a lot of lives. A lot of lives. So that was why that came back to me. So I think everyone should learn something from that. Find something doing with your hands. Don't just depend on salary, because salary will not take you anywhere. Salary is just for you to gather a little funds together to start an investment.
Okay, well, a lot of women have to struggle through the issue around wills and all that, succession planning, investments and family dramas, all of that. But you said something. Your husband had his will, your son and yourself.
Did you say your husband had his will?
He wrote. She said it. So that showed preparedness for you as a couple, because you knew life was going to happen. And that's something most people are very uncomfortable to talk about. But I like the fact that life did not play you, you played life. In this scenario,
I'm very curious with that. How did you said you took a stand and told them to come. So did they come?
I'm still waiting. That's why every woman has to be strong. And also, while you are having a romantic relationship with your spouse, open your eyes wide.
Put your name well.
Put your name well. Especially when you are in class 7. Make sure he does the needful. So that when the chips are down, you will not have to regret your life.
Well, amazing conversation we've had. Thank you so much for your thoughts and words. It actually tells where life should take you and how you should prepare for life, Priscilla.
Absolutely. This conversation reminds us that widowhood is not the end of a woman's story. Yes, while loss brings pain, it can also reveal your strength that many women never knew they possess.
Well, we've learned that healing is possible. Purpose can be rediscovered, and even after life's greatest disappointments, new chapters can still be written. Most importantly, we've learned that every woman deserves support, dignity, encouragement, and the opportunity to rebuild. As we commemorate Widows Day 2026, let us not only sympathize with widows but empower them, stand with them, and create communities where they can thrive. We sincerely appreciate our guest, Pastor Julie Odion or Monobiona. I'm sorry for that, for sharing her remarkable story, wisdom and inspiration with us today. It's been really an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for your time. And we pray that your strength keeps building up and you try. Your children will also be proud of you any day, anytime. Well done, ma'am. Well, it's been an amazing journey here with us on Women's World. Thank you for being a part of this story. And we say, put out more words for women and encourage more women. That culture would not be a problem to them at all.
Absolutely. On that note, we say a happy widows 2026. Say your strength will not fail you. For every widow watching, you have that chance to rediscover yourself.
Yeah. I am Anita Patrick, and of course,
I am Priscilla Obasi.
Thank you for staying with us. Bye for now.
Bye.